Hey, Jen, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jordan's not responding, so I don't think he can hear either of us. So,
That's better.
I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me now?
yeah,
Okay. I'm just gonna have to do a new spot.
I have a new spot.
Yeah, I like it.
I decided to go poolside today on a Thursday afternoon,
Nice.
and I thought it was a good idea. Oh, Molson Coors is calling.
Uh-oh.
Don't they know we record at 1:30? Anyway, it's 105, and I thought, I'm gonna take my dog to the pool. There's probably nobody there. There's no pets allowed, so rules. That's a millennial thing, right? I'm no millennial except by heart. And so I brought the dog, and I swim. The dog leaves a trail of hair, and as soon as I set up for the podcast, like 5 people show up.
Of course.
And they're all staring. They're kind of giving me the fisheye with the dog, the wet dog over here, like looking very guilty. She's covered in dirt too, because she fell out of the crime wagon yesterday on our maiden voyage. Yeah, she
Hey Harry,
planted.
how much did that crime wagon cost, by the way?
No, we're not talking about that. We're not. Melissa and I have already been over that in a previous podcast, Jen. And
oh, I know.
Like I explained to her, I don't spend a lot of money on myself with things. And so this is, every 5 years or so, I make a ridiculous, stupid purchase. But, it'll depreciate to nothing soon enough.
Whatever that means.
I'm sure within a year it'll be cobwebbed. But
how many other people do you think have bought one? You think you're like one of 20, one of 50?
I have not seen a lot of them around. Definitely been stopped a few times asking about it. And because, you kind of look like you're either a homeless person or like you can really afford a bitchin' electric cargo bike. And so somewhere in between. But anyway, the dog did fall out, but now she's gotten the hang of it. And she loves it, tail and tongue a wagon. And it's a crime wagon. We're out looking to solve crimes. I've alerted some of the former military veterans that live around here that they can sleep well, knowing that Harry and Biscuit are out in the crime wagon, keeping them safe.
So what sort of crimes have you spotted, Harry?
And I'd rather not talk about it on a public forum. Honestly, Jen, it's private. Hey, our friends at Black Rifle got a write-up in the New York Times this week. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I was like, wow, our boys have grown up. And surprisingly, the Times gave them kind of a fair shake, being that they're pretty conservative. But yeah, the ranch got a mention again. So the Guajolote's gotten a mention on Joe Rogan and the New York Times now. We've hit the big time.
Sweet.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about really a couple of big stories this week. Jen, you wrote about the Bang Energy guys coming out with their beverage alcohol, a seltzer. Talk a little bit about that. And
well, game recognized game. Those guys are hustlers, right? And I'll tell you, it was really,
wow,
who would have thought
that.
In this day of journalism that somebody would connect via phone. But anyway, yeah. So, and I bug them every so often, and they're who they are, right? They don't talk unless they want to talk, unless it behooves them. But they had about 5 markets open, and now they're opening Texas, Bama, and California for Bang Mix. And surprise, with giant distributors like Silver Eagle, right? And other big distributors, Glazers as well. And surprise, like these brands in the markets they're already in are doing well in military channels. Speaking of Black Rifle Coffee, right? Obviously, that's kind of effing brilliant, right? I mean, that's right. A perfect match. So I kind of think they have their work cut out for themselves if they can negotiate this whole little side issue of PepsiCo, having to dissolve that master distributor agreement. But
right. Okay. I just did something, and I'm not sure by accident. Like I
still see
myself.
You. So
okay. All right. Well, that's that's cool, and you're right. That is a brilliant strategy because the military, I think, is underserved. It's they have income and they are motivated to drink energy type drinks, and alcohol as well. The other thing is that I don't think many people know this, but a lot of alcohol is sold through the actual military, and so if you can get into the bases, this is, I mean, I think this is the same. This is how it was when I used to sell beer, but if you could get into that, then it's a real lucrative. AB's always been, I mean, that's really how Budweiser became the brand that it is today. They gave away beer to the military during the Vietnam War, and that's when Budweiser's share doubled. Anyway, some of the other issues we tackled this week. First of all, I wanted to just make a comment about the White House, the Biden White House coming out and saying that beverage alcohol is one of, I don't know what, 70 industries that we would like to target to become, more efficient and more competitive and those sorts of things. Okay, I have a couple of things to say about that. Number one, I know exactly who that is. And these are career DOJ and FTC lawyers who have always had a hard-on for the three-tier system. This has been going on, for 20 years, and they very well versed. I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're legally very well versed in three-tier, and this is kind of a pet project, and they're always going to put it forward whenever they can. A decree like this from the Biden administration is kind of like Tom and I talked about, is dicta. It doesn't really mean a lot. The other thing is that the last I checked, there's a amendment to the Constitution called the 21st Amendment, which expressly gives to the states and the right to regulate alcohol, not the federal government. And in fact, the reason to give it to the states is for why? To make it less competitive and less efficient. They even say that. If you go back and read when the 21st Amendment was ratified, and you read On Control, the Rockefeller book on the reason that they did this is they did not want the alcohol business to be a national business, an efficient national business. The White House is gunning for that. Well, there's an amendment that blocks that in the first place. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Okay.
So do you think the neo-prohibitionists have anything to do with that, or no?
No, I don't think. I would think the neo-prohibitionists would be on the side of wholesalers in this, because they don't want a more efficient. They don't. Cheap liquor is bad for the working man, and woman. It's bad for everybody. Make it expensive. What were some of the other? There were some big issues this week. I'm drawing a blank now.
A little Boston and
big
Beam
news today.
Just
Boston and Beam.
Oh, of course, yeah. We should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
And we should have honestly. I mean, we've seen it coming, but we should have seen it coming from Boston specifically, because they are always kind of early adopters, game changers, disruptors, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And clearly, Spirit branded RTD cocktail in a can, whatever you want to freaking call it, are on the growth trend. They're the new hot seltzer, hot girl summer 2021, whatever you want to call it. It's the hot thing. And they're going to get into it, and I think it's a smart move. They have the capability to make it. They have the capability to distribute it, and Beam has the brand name recognition. And everybody knows that for a relaxing time, make it Suntory times. I had to work it in. I had to work it in.
I know.
It's like Bud Ice. Every now and then you have to work it in. I'm watching you, Bud Ice. Don't think I'm not.
I got my eyes on you.
I got my eyes on you, Bud Ice. And whoever the brand manager if you're brand manager for Bud Ice and you're listening right now, slide into my DMs.
I don't think they have a brand manager for Bud Ice.
There's somebody over there. Trust me. Slide into my DMs. Let's talk. You and I. I got some things to tell you.
I mean, really, this Boston Beam deal, it's all about muddying up the waters a little more, right? If truly is in a bottled spirit, then people think, oh, it is that. It is a liquor. And then they don't know what is actually in the can. And then salsa is not going to be spirits based in cans. It's going to be malt based.
Mhm.
So you just get to kind of play off what nobody knows.
Right. And that's a brilliant move, I think. It's kind of what Jim Cook has been warning us about since the New Jersey deal, which when was that, like a month or so ago? What he was warning us about behind the scenes, he's negotiating with the devil. He's warning us about. Brilliant, I say. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Why are we still playing checkers and that motherfucker's playing chess? Why are we still surprised? Jordan, why are you surprised? You're looking surprised over there.
Well, because I think what could maybe happen is spirits companies, they learn from this that they don't need to put spirits in their cans. They can just do malt based, and they can have their brand name and avoid the whole excise tax altogether.
I've been wondering that too. I mean, from the beginning, I'm like, why would they even consider? I remember with like some AB exec quit, and a high up guy, Spiegel. Remember?
Felipe.
Yeah.
Felipe.
I'm not
He's
sure
like,
if
yeah,
he
I'm
quit.
gonna start. I'm gonna start. Yeah, or whatever he did.
Whatever he did.
I'm gonna start a spirit based. I was like, why? You know that the tax is double, right? He's like, huh? I think some of these people just didn't know. But yeah, I mean, like Lone River and those guys, they're banking on, or not Lone River, not Epic Western, banking on the fact that the consumer will care that it is actually that they want real agave in there.
Yeah.
I don't think the consumer cares. The average consumer does not care.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this will be like the biggest litmus test for that, right? Like I pinged a couple distributors about you guys have to be so excited about this, right? Because this is, like Jordan said, to clarify, because it was wasn't very, apparent in the press release. It is a malt-based Sauza RTD that Boston will produce through their own, their contract guys and themselves, and will distribute. So the Boston, this is like a Boston product. And I even asked, is this going to count toward y'all's shipments and stuff like that too? And that is TBD. I have a feeling that they kind of already have an idea, but they're not going to admit that yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was asking distributors, like, this is a slam dunk for you guys, right? Because look, like I'd asked Jordan, like, well, wait, remember, like, are there any successful malt-based margaritas on the market right now? He's like, yeah, oh yeah, Cayman Jack is malt-based. I was like, oh yeah, Cayman Jack is effing huge. Cayman Jack, according to Mike's, is twice the size of Cutwater, AB's spirit-based play in this arena, right? And it's already twice the size, and it's malt-based, right? So I was asking Boston's distributors, you guys are thrilled about this, right? Because Boston's basically now going to make Cayman Jack with the Sauza name, blow it out, and they're going to do fantastic. And I haven't gotten too much response yet. And again, a lot of it is TBD, exactly what this is going to look like. But distributors were like, yeah, I'm not sure what to think yet, because they want a piece of that spirits action too. And a lot of these guys already have licenses to sell spirits as well, because all of these big brewers also have spirits products now. And they're kind of a little like, why don't I have a real tequila product? So that'll be interesting. Yeah, this will be a big test.
Yeah,
as to whether the consumer cares.
I can see some old school distributors also saying, why should I help a spirits brand?
Yeah.
The Salsa spirit brand. And I think that's short-sighted. I mean, or maybe it's long-term thinking. It's one of the two, but you know what? Make hay while the sun's shining. Yep. If somebody brings you a salsa malt-based, and just take it and
don't look at agave.
Count your freaking money and go home.
Yeah.
Oh, but it may not be covered by franchise laws. Okay, fine. But you think Boston's gonna, make a big fuss about terminating? I mean, maybe they have before, but it's not like they have other brands. They're not going to just terminate a distributor because they did poorly on salsa.
Yeah, I think beer distributors are sitting a lot prettier than the wine and spirits distributors, Boston Beers distributors over Beams wine and spirits distributors, because you think about, it's much more natural, I think, for spirits to go into a can than for beer to go into a spirits bottle. If truly whatever they're going to do with it, I think it's got to be a vodka, right? But if that flops, what's the next thing? Twisted tea bourbon? I mean, if truly
Yeah.
vodka flops, then I don't know what's next. For Beam, it could be salsa, it could be whatever else. And I think it makes a lot more sense flowing that way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Whiskey RTDs for Boston, maybe, but it would be harder to make them spirits based, right? Like there's not a lot of, sorry. It would be harder to make them
Malt based. Yeah.
There's not a lot of malt based whiskey.
No, they've
on the market.
tried it before to disastrous results.
I'm sure. I mean, it's
And-
hard to make an actual spirits based whiskey RTD taste good. And whiskey is, according to IWSR, supposed to be like bigger than vodka soon, right? So it behooves somebody to figure this the F out. But to Jay's point, like, yeah, truly as a spirits product, like, yeah, I got to think to Jay's point that the whole Boston end is getting the better end of this deal. Cause like I'm sure it will be a vodka. It'll probably be like Truly flavors reimagined as spirits, right? Oh, like here's your Truly lemonade.
It'll be like a shot.
Spirits.
It'll be like
Yeah.
a fireball or something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's very incremental, and I also think a lot of this is testing, right? Testing both the relationship, how that would work with Beam, and also testing how brands work with malt and with spirit base and with, you know, because Boston's got their hand in every part of that category. That, you know, with Dogfish Head and they have spirit base, they have malt base, they have the leading malt base with Truly, and now they have liquor and, well, I mean, they're doing it all.
Yeah, but to jumping kind of
you can have it all, Jordan. You can have it all.
Jumping off that point, and Jen and I were talking about this earlier, it's more than testing this product, because Boston, they could test that product on their own because they have a distillery, you know? I mean, it's more about testing this relationship with Beam, you know?
I agree. The relationship's just as important to test and how it will work. But, you know, and also testing the product. And when I say testing the product, I'm talking about with the consumer. You know, it's kind of like a comedian always says, you know, they have to go on the road for 6 months to really get a good set to test things out, you know, to make it better and better. I think that's with beverages. That's something to that as well. Going back to the sorry, I'm all over. Going back to the Bang Energy thing. Yeah, let's see if we can get them on the pod. And also, we need to start thinking about speakers for the beer summit in January. Because
yeah. I've already asked Jen to put in a good word for us for Brendan. Obviously, we want Brendan to speak. Obviously, we want Bill Newlands to speak. Jay, you and I had spitballed about the slow brew guys, because they're in Cali, they're developing, and they've admittedly said, hey, we are testing our own products in California to flip them, to sell them to other companies. And it's malt and it's spirits and it's all of it. It's an interesting model. I think that would be kind of interesting. So there's 3 off the bat.
It's weird to see all these young people trying to make money. I thought
We're
this
talking
young
about it, Harry. That's
thought
what
this young-
millennials do. We're so money grubbing and lazy.
I was saying all that to literally trying to get a rise out of you.
That's exactly what Jordan said. No, he said that.
I wanted to first of all, I
Yeah.
want to see if you listen to the podcast, if you're not on it.
Check.
And then because I normally praise millennials because I am a millennial. It had a backstory.
Well, mission accomplished.
Yeah. Thanks.
Jen saw it.
Jen
was mad.
Oh, I knew
Oh,
you
yeah.
were. I could tell.
Though,
I
man.
love you. It's so easy to get a rise out of you, and I don't know why I enjoy it so much. It's terrible.
Damn, you and my dad and my husband, like every male around
So-
me really enjoys seeing me upset.
It's just
Not me, Jen. Not me.
Not my adoptive brother Jordan. No, Jay,
yeah.
ride or die. That's my guy
Ride or-
right there.
Jordan's everybody's ride or die. Poor guy. I like to talk to him sometimes about how he feels about having, 3 bosses. At one
They
time
used to have 3.
he used to have 3. Now he's down to kind of 1.5. But really you're the boss, Jordan. You're everybody's boss. JD, that's what we start calling you, because you're kind of like the mushmouth JD on Stern. Not really though. You're better than he is.
Oh, thank you.
We got the JD army out there, though. Boy, can't make fun of Jordan. They get all mad. Lay off Jordan. Wah, wah. Just like he's some kind of baby. Well, all right.
The big 3-0 now.
I know.
Man,
Y'all are getting old.
we're getting long in the tooth, man. Dude.
Well, great week, and be good to have Sarah back, and we'll get the DPS done with on Monday. Looking forward to it. Got a great lineup there. I'm pretty psyched about that, and then we'll have a few weeks of relaxation, and then hey, got to hit the beer summit. January 30th, 2022, Del Coronado. Be there. All right, guys. Be thinking about funny merch ideas for T-shirts and hats because we got to make some money on this podcast. I'm tired of breaking even.
All over that.
I've put a lot of money into the crime wagon, and I got to get that money back.
Oh my God.
The crime wagon is definitely a expense. It's being expensed through the podcast. So
We made that much money already?
No, well, it's a negative column, Jordan.
Okay.
The revenue column is still zero, but we've incurred a few expenses, various microphones, and the crime wagon, of course, is a necessity. I can't wait to explain that one to the IRS. Now just stick with me now, okay? It's a crime wagon that I give away beer to homeless people. Well, aren't the homeless people? Don't they have issues with alcohol? Well, yeah, but I'm helping them. See, isn't that counterproductive? Well, no, you don't get.
Why don't you call your buddies over at Black Rifle and see if they'll, like they did the lake at San Antonio. When you said that, I was like, what lakes are there in San Antonio?
I know that they need a boat to save people.
Yeah,
The Guajolote.
I can't think of one.
Canyon Lake, I guess. Is that in Bear County?
Ish.
I think that's just the only lake in Bear. I love that they gave him a $35,000 boat to the sheriff's department. They had to, they're like, we can't accept it. They must be making so much money over there, and they can just write a check like that. The Times said that they brought in 150 million in sales this year.
That's nuts, dude.
Damn.
That is pretty big.
When are they getting into spirits, Harry?
They already have a spirit called Lead Slinger. But you know what's funny? Even the New York Times said that they haven't sold much of it because of the arcane laws in the beverage alcohol system preclude them from selling direct.
Always arcane.
Yeah.
That was one of the first words you told me not to use when I started working here.
Archaic, arcane. I had to coach Gulf Coast too, not to use the D word. You know.
Oh yeah, I heard that on
Which
the
D?
Starts with a D, ends with a K.
Not that D word, Jim. Drunk is the word that she's like, oh my God, that product, it gets you so drunk. I was like, oh, we don't say that in the industry. We say it has a high ABV quotient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We do not say, oh my God, it got me so turned.
It packs a punch.
I was crawling to the toilet. It was, we don't like to admit that the product we sell is poison, and
of course not.
Does fuck you up sometime. Moderation. All right, guys. Listen, if I don't, I'm gonna try and get Nick Lake on here. He showed an interest. I thought it'd be fun. Okay. This is a former data guy.
Yep.
And
we got Jim Ryan on Wednesday at 1.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love
I send him
some Jimmy
questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
We'll do that to an extent.
Well, have a good weekend if I don't talk to you. And oh shit, y'all are.
We'll see you on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 days.
We're staying at the Hotel Emma. We're gonna have some content. We'll make some vids.
We should do a pod from
by the pool.
Emma pool on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I'll wear my
mankini.
Yeah, my Borat kini. You know. Good. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have fun this weekend. And all right, guys, we'll see you Monday. And thank you for drinking beer.